Because the government's still shut down. And most of what they're fighting over is ridiculous. So if they're not going to take today seriously, I got to be honest, I'm not going to take it seriously either. We're just going to goof off for 3 hours. You're all welcome to be a part of it.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Well, all the Yankee fans digging the action up in the Bronx last night. 4-0, the final score. The Yankees advanced to go beat up the Blue Jays up in Toronto. Let's go! So we have one station out of 200 that cares. Like WOR, if you're listening on 710, The Voice of New York. It's like a local show, at least for the first few minutes anyway, because you guys care. You're excited the Yankees won. And across the country, you should be excited. You want to know why? You don't even have to be a baseball fan. We're going through a cultural change right now. Like last night, probably the two loudest moments in the stadium last night, okay, were the tail end of the national anthem. They had an opera guy singing. People would have liked him more if his shirt was a little tighter. I'm like, come on, guy. I need to see 99% of the nipple. 98 is not enough on the Jumbotron. We need the full 99, dare I say 100. But they were so rowdy for the national anthem. And during the seventh inning stretch, the Yankees always do the YMCA. They've been doing that since 1996. Okay, and everybody always gets into it because it's an easy dance, the Y, the M, the C, and the A. It's actually how you figure out who is sober enough to drive home. Because if they can't do the Y, the M, the C, and the A...
this could be a problem.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to grab Vinny's keys. Either we're going to drive or we're going to do an Uber. But last night, the YMCA, not the loudest song of the seventh inning. It was God Bless America. People are into the country again, and they're into that community engagement, like that civic engagement, that civic pride thing. Do you remember how like 3 weeks ago, Trump was at a Yankee game on 9/11 and they were chanting USA and they were chanting for Trump in New York, a city that's so liberal they wanted to defund the cop and the village people? Well, nevertheless, okay, there is a civic pride back in ballparks across America, football stadiums, baseball stadiums. They cheer for the national anthem. They chant USA at the end of the national anthem. Because people are kind of in on the joke. Perspective is making a roaring comeback right now. Guys, we have it really, really good in this country.
He's a lousy dad, but he's right.
And I've been saying that for as long as I've had a show. I go, hey, man, I don't want to steer the democracy. I don't want to be in charge. I don't know what I'm doing. But I have perspective because people would get into my taxi when I was a cab driver, and they would talk to me not about white privilege. They would talk to me about American privilege. And they'd say, man, if you live in America, you have it so good comparative to the rest of the world. I say that all the time. Okay, no matter what you are, black, white, gay, Asian, straight, trans, Pokemon, Pikachu, Mario, Luigi, whatever you got, man, doesn't matter. It's the best place in the world to be what you are is right here in America. I've been saying that for 5 years. Guys, people used to get into the back of my taxi and cry because they had made it to America. And it was so powerful because I could take them the long way and make like 300 extra bucks. But the point is, it was so cool to be in a stadium last night and see Perspective make a national comeback. It's been here on this show since the day it launched. The day the show launched, I whipped out my taxi license and started giving you a sermon I've given you literally 3 trillion times on this show.
Shut up! Will you shut up?
Seriously, every time I tell you, oh, I was a cab driver, you're like, all right, Jimmy, we get it. You know, some people have one thing syndrome. Like if you do one, they could like you for 3 hours a day. If you do this one thing they don't like, I'm never listening again. You know, because I'm not meant for angry people. It's like, do you know how my Saturday night show, I say stop it a lot? I'll be like, stop it. Would you stop it? It's because I'm trying to cut the applause break off so I can move on to the next joke. Okay. And people are like, oh, you say stop it too much. I'm like, you understand? I'm like, I'm trying to cut down the laughter so I can get to the next joke. Okay, believe me, every other comedy show you're watching in America wishes they had that problem.
He knows what he's talking about.
Imagine, oh my God, you know, and I'm just trying to get through it. But again, people who are angry don't like what we do on this show because they gravitate towards, I got to find that one thing I don't like. And that's what the Democrats are losing the public off of right now. They've become a wholly systemic grievance movement. It's not about the others. Oh, we could have the best economy. We could, in theory, have the safest country, which we do now that they shut down the border. You have more upward mobility here. You have more tolerance. You have more inclusion. And now the government's shut down because they're mad we're not giving enough health care to illegal immigrants or something. Like, what are we doing here? It's like there's always going to be a thing. They always got to find a thing because they run on what's wrong. Okay, Republicans, not that they keep all their promises, believe me, but they run on what's right. And that's a mindset that's finally winning. And it was so cool to be there last night. People are always excited for a Yankee Red Sox game. It's the best rivalry in sports. Okay, but the point is to see them all of them, siding with America was a different thing. I can tell you last year in Game 5 of the World Series, we were sitting in the left field bleachers, and a guy used a string of profanity, some of which included sexual slurs and racial slurs. I'm not kidding. I'm not, whatever. It wasn't me. I was actually listening.
He is so full of shit, this guy.
No, I wasn't. I was there with Jenny and Lincoln. It's the left field bleachers at Yankee Stadium. Everybody's dumping beer all over everybody. And somebody piped up and he goes, I'm an educator. And evolved people don't talk in those terms. I'm not even kidding. And that dude probably got hit with 65 beers. It was so amazing. I'm like, dude, the whole point of going to the bleachers at a baseball game is to hear people say things you wouldn't repeat in prison. It's like, you're paying $22 a beer. They're going to cut loose. They're not going to sit there and censor each other. And last year, that guy had backing. Game 5 of the World Series, Yankees-Dodgers. Jenny was on yesterday. I'll try to ask Lincoln about it when he's on today. I had such a laugh with Lincoln because I go, that is such like a moment in time in our country that someone is policing language in the outfield of the Yankee Stadium bleachers. But you know what I heard last night? Everything that was said a year ago times 100, and nobody frickin' cared. Nobody cared. I mean, chicken wire over the stage. It was Blues Brothers stuff. And you may not like that sort of thing, but I still promise you it was a win for you. Because we're done policing speech. Okay? Are people on the right kind of falling back into the trap? Yeah, they're mad at like the guy in the Super Bowl halftime show. I don't care. Let him, whatever. He's in the Super Bowl halftime show. And you might not like it, but if he sold as many albums as Taylor Swift, somebody likes it. So let him have their halftime show. The thing we've been saying on the right forever about like cancel culture is you don't cancel anything. If you don't like it, you have the right not to consume it. That's it. You don't have to go out there and make sure the only things that exist in this world cater to your personal preferences, and that's the mistakes the Democrats made. So I've been yelling a lot this week about that. I'll probably talk about it with Lincoln later. You don't want to become the thing you hate, but the thing we love, okay, and this is true, is getting together as a community and enjoying something. And we haven't done that because of COVID. It killed movie theaters. Streaming kind of exacerbated the problem because you're like, I'm not going to go to the theater. I'll watch it in my living room. But you kind of lose that communal experience of just having spontaneous interactions with strangers and bonding over the fact that we all like certain things. And at no point are our political differences evident. It's called common culture. And that's the biggest thing that's been missing in the last 5 years of our politics. I've said this to you 1,000 times. I say nothing is better. Nothing is better. Since actors got super political, athletes got super political, singers got super political, nothing's better. Because everybody who used to go to these outlets for like an autonomous zone where we weren't going to fight. No, I'm going to the rock concert. I don't care. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to drink in the parking lot. Maybe get a secondhand contact high from one of the, roadies. I don't know. Okay. Or you were going to go to the movies and you're like, I'm not going to sit there for a lecture and pay $28 of popcorn. No, I'm going there to just goof off, watch a good movie. Well, the point is we lost that in this country for a long time. And what's helping it make a comeback on the programming side is that ultimately producers of TV networks and sporting outlets and everything else want to make money. They want to gravitate towards what makes them money. So they will let the cultural compass steer their battleship. They're not moored to any values whatsoever. The NFL would have let you chant defund the police 5 years ago. Now they honor the police before the game. What changed? Not the NFL's sentiments. Their sentiments are dollars and cents. But the point is, the country's sentiments have changed. And those sentiments are what actually drives the zeitgeist. And in the zeitgeist right now, it's cool to like America again. That is Trump's greatest achievement. For all the hooting and hollering and the hats and the Trump 2028s and the Trump was right about everything and the policies you may like or dislike, the fact that we are now civically engaged in liking the country collectively, like even people on the left, I'm not talking about the blue-haired loonies that were mad about Sydney Sweeney's boobs. okay, or those freakos that are telling sex offenders they can go in the women's room if they say they're a girl. They're out there. I'm not saying it is 100% foolproof society. There's going to be fringe idiots everywhere you go. But even most liberals can concede in conversation. We have it pretty good here. That's the point. And going to the Yankee game last night, it was really cool because you saw people, I promise you, it's New York City, that was not a 100% Republican crowd. If it was a majority Republican, it was 52% to 48. I mean, again, we're about to elect Zoran Mamdani mayor. The guy is an actual socialist. He's like, well, I'm not a communist. I'm a democratic socialist. Guys, do you understand every single communist government started out under the guise of socialism? I'm not a communist. I'm a socialist. And what do you think happens 5 minutes later? Communism. Okay, it's the political equivalent of a guy telling a girl he just wants to give her a back massage. Yeah, you sell the back massage, but the minute massage starts, you're like, I know what you need. It's the same thing in politics. Okay, and the point is, New York is not a vast majority city. Yankee Stadium is not a vast majority stadium, but 110% of that stadium was on their feet last night, screaming for America. And that's why I'm telling you, I'm pumped up today. Yeah, I had a great time with my kid. Yeah, my favorite ball team won, and it was so cool to vicariously live that through my son, a kid who's never seen the Yankees win as a 16-year-old who's in a sweet spot of loving sports. But last night was not a win for me and Lincoln. Damn it, last night was a win for America.
And I'm out here in the real world, and I know what's right or wrong or bullshit.
Oh, hot damn it, it's Fox Across America with Jimmy Failla, comedian Aaron Berg in studio. Yeah. Troy Duffy in the house as well, minus a Red Sox hat for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
We're not sure why. Well, something go down last night in the Bronx, Troy?
I wanted the Yankees to win that second game so we could go for 3. But wow, I was not expecting, what is it, Schindler?
Yeah.
What's
Not Schindler. He had a list.
Schlittler.
Yeah.
Schlittler
had a list.
My
Schlittler
God.
is his name. Yeah.
Schlittler.
Struck out 12 guys as a rookie.
Yeah.
That was an
8
unbelievable
scoreless
performance.
innings. Never been done before.
That was intense.
It was, and it was infuriating as
was a
well.
lot. See?
Absolutely infuriating.
He was the guy who wanted the three-way and wound up breaking up with the girl.
Yeah.
I want to go 3.
But the good news is the Mets are going to rebuild, and this is pretty exciting.
Yeah, what a wild time to be a Met fan. They fired the third base coach. Mikey's all excited in there. He's like, no, next year, you don't understand. Our third base coach, man. It's going to be different.
Baseball's up in arms over that one.
So give me this. This has nothing to do with the movie. The movie is called One Thing After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson film, One Battle After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson film. And I was just taking exception. It's a Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Fine, great, wonderful. I take exception to nothing but this Variety write-up.
Okay.
And this is a big problem the left is having. Okay.
Okay.
Every one of our political disagreements is being framed disingenuously. Here is the disingenuous framing, okay? One Battle After Another is a movie that connects with the moment we're living in like nothing you've ever seen. And the moment we're in is like nothing you've ever seen. So far, so good. It is a little unprecedented. There's weird things going on.
Sounds like they graduated literary classes.
Okay. And what seems to be happening, okay, it says, next sentence, as the United States gets pushed day by day closer and closer to autocracy, that's a situation that ought to be setting everyone in the country on edge. Yet it's part of the nature of autocracy to narcotize people into numbness, delusion, fear, and a kind of self-perpetuating apathy. And that's what seems to be happening in America right now. Here's the line. It's that they claim Gavin Newsom shouldn't be the only one saying that we won't have real elections in 2028. And I'm like, yes, he should be.
Yeah.
Because we're having elections in 2028.
Yeah.
That's the point.
That doesn't seem like it seems like it stopped being a movie review right there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
It's just like
They're just trying to convert you to a personal preference, and it's based on a lie.
Maybe you're getting ahead of yourself. Maybe Gavin Newsom's in the movie. Have you?
He's not in a movie.
Maybe he's a character in the movie.
Not in the movie.
Not in
not in
the
the
movie.
goddamn. You know what that is, man?
What?
That's like, it's like how do you, when the way that they're choosing different venues to put their political agenda on us is unreal.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it in a thing like that.
Gavin Newsom
Mervyn,
shouldn't be.
movie review. I'm just going to stop talking about the movie review and go off on politics.
And it's the best part because when they talk about like authoritarian government, I'm like, all right, well, you're clearly liberal.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So far, so good. Your government was firing people if they didn't get a vaccine that you mandated.
Yeah.
Deplatforming people's speech rights, including a president. I don't mean First Amendment violations because he didn't go to jail for it.
Your leader was asleep most of the time.
Well, not, yeah, we don't. I blame him for none of this.
Okay.
But the point is, the authoritarian things they just did, I mean, they jailed their political enemies.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what's so funny. It's like now that they pop Comey for perjury, and who knows how that's going to play out. They're like, we've never seen this before. I'm like, sure we have.
Man.
It's from your playbook.
I just literally spent the spring watching helicopter shots of Trump's motorcade going from Mar-a-Lago to West Palm to LaGuardia to the courthouse.
Yeah.
They showed that every day for 6 months on every channel on cable because a president was on trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, and during that, they all made these big speeches about no one is above the law.
That's my favorite.
Oh, no one is above. Every last one of them.
So we got Troy Duffy and Aaron Berg in the house, and the goal of the segment seems to be to make one of them snap and start a militia.
Yeah.
And we're not done trying. They're sticking around for another segment. This is like Larry King for the full hour.
For the full hour.
They're here.
Now, you like making music, is that correct?
He's got suspenders on and he just took a Viagra, so
Yeah.
don't go anywhere. This is going to get interesting. The Rod is back. Our morning zoo. But this sets us up for a perfect conversation we're going to have when we come back, because I think this is the real tragedy of right now for a lot of people, is a lot of people's emotions are their facts. And movie reviews like this are designed to sell you the movie the same way they're trying to sell you politics that don't make sense. If you get emotional, oh, no, we're under attack right now.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to believe. But it's also hurting their cause in the process. I have actual tangible proof. We do this with data on this show. Do you know? Data.
Data.
I'm gonna give you actual data. Okay.
Can we call it data?
Fine. Pronounce it the way you want, you snob. We're back after this. Oh, you're damn right it is. We're having a grown-up talk about all things America. Aaron Berg is here. Troy Duffy is here. We were talking movies before we went to break, specifically how Democrats really are, to be substantive for a minute, they're losing the country right now. Like, they're polling at their lowest recorded polling number in history.
There's no leader of that party, Jay.
That's another issue. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
They're totally employed. They let the progressives get a hold of them, and now they can't get rid of these guys.
You know what the Democrats are in sports terms? Sports fans will get this. Like 2 years ago, Mikey remembers this. The 49ers were playing in the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. Brock Purdy's arm fell off, like Mr. Potato Head style.
Yeah.
And they actually just didn't have a backup quarterback. Yeah. Mikey, do you remember that? They made McCaffrey, the white running back, play quarterback, but the stadium knew he couldn't throw. Like, they didn't fake a throw. They didn't attempt to throw. There wasn't like a flea flicker. And they're like, oh, well, this is over.
Yeah.
And it wound up being a really hard game to watch. That is the Democrat Party. Whoever's supposed to be quarterbacking this thing's arm fell off.
I was listening, even Rob Reiner sounded helpless.
Oh,
And
he was
you're
on
like,
Piers Morgan.
Yeah,
I was
heard-
on that episode.
I heard him on Mar.
Oh, okay, 'cause I remember
You're like,
Piers.
oh, it's done. When Rob Reiner's kind of checking out, you're like, you got a long way back.
But the reason why is everything is a half a premise. So let me give you an example. We were doing this earlier with Senator from Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullen. The government shutdown is over giving health care to illegal immigrants. Basically, in the they were getting it. Okay, they've been getting it under continuing resolutions that both parties signed off on, to be clear. But the Democrats obviously let 20 million people into the country.
Right.
So when the Republicans were okay with this, it was a different number.
So it's
You
like
dig?
me taking Troy to lunch saying, I got the bill, but then he orders 4 bottles of really old wine.
Now you can back out a little bit.
Okay.
Fair. Okay, so here we are. What the Democrats are trying to do in this bill, okay, is when the Republicans passed the big, beautiful bill, they struck the provision that continued to fund health care for illegal immigrants, meaning it was on the books. They took it off. We're not doing this anymore. This was one of our promises. We're shutting down the border. We're not going to give all this stuff away. So what the Democrats are doing in their resolution proposal is restoring that. Now, they frame it as we're not giving health care to illegal immigrants. You know what I mean? They already have it. We're just restoring what they have. But the point is, it's a semantic battle over the fact that they already have it. But what they're framing it as is, and I'm going to play Hakeem Jeffries, we're shut down because the Republicans are denying health care to hardworking Americans. And hardworking Americans is their way of not saying illegal immigrants.
Right.
And that's how they gin people up. Because if I was just an objective observer of politics and you just assume, if you you're new to this and you trust TV and you trust politicians, you go, oh, these guys taking away health care from hardworking Americans are a bunch of scumbags, you know?
You are not you know I'm an immigrant. Before I became an American citizen, I moved here from the third world country that is called Canada. And I moved here, and I did not feel entitled to health care. I would go to back alley dermatologists. I would go to podiatrists that were located on the Staten Island Ferry. You got what you found, and that's what it's supposed to be.
There's an old. Do you remember there's like a Jackie Martland Street joke about that joke? I can't even say it.
Podiatrist.
That's so funny. So it's a Jackie Martland joke. Jackie, if you're listening, he's been on Fox News Saturday night. He'll appreciate the shout out. She told me a joke once where he's like, yeah, you know, guy's in town on business, and he says to the cab driver, he's like, I want to go to a really good massage parlor. Yeah. And he goes, oh, buddy, 555 West 55th Street. It's the best massage parlor in the city. Like, it's going to knock your socks off. You're going to love it. So he's like, oh, great. He has a couple drinks. He goes down to the massage parlor. He makes the mistake of going to 666 West 66th Street. Just gets the number wrong. He winds up at the podiatrist's office. So, you know, his luck would have it. He's waiting behind the curtain. Girl walks in. He whips it out. And the girl goes, hey, that's not a foot. And he goes, Jesus, I didn't know there was a minimum. Dumb. Jackie, if you're listening, we love you. So hold on. I'll give you Hakeem Jeffries first. Just listen to this, clip 4.
Okay.
Since the White House meeting that took place on Monday, Republicans have gone radio silent. It's clear that they wanted to shut this government down, and they wanted to shut it down because they were unwilling to provide health care to working class Americans.
So that's the framing of this.
Working class
Americans. AOC flat out says that they just wanted, Donald Trump wants to make sure kids don't have health care.
Sure.
Oh, man.
That's her. That is her take on this. And I was like, wow, because that's the stuff that gets people like shooting.
Would the Democrats get more respect if they were honest about what's really happening?
Yes.
Yeah, but then they'd be in deep duty because they'd have to admit what they did.
I know, but there are some people, like, you're fair, Troy, but it's like, you know, sometimes being the heel is admirable. Let me give you an example. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle tried to pretend they were like victims.
Right. Yeah.
But they're like literally royalty.
Yeah.
Like something, you know, people, if you have a daughter, they fantasize about being a princess. Like if you go to Disney, they'll charge you for that experience. Go be a Disney princess. You can pay like $3,000 for your daughter to pretend to be a princess for 20 minutes.
Ooh, I want to go do it.
How about it? Yeah. But she is actually a princess.
Yeah.
And they decided to go the lane of like victimhood.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be the actual royals, you know, that wear the crown because that's the way it works. But wouldn't they be so much more likable if they were leaning into their prosperity?
Yeah.
Like, I don't. There's a part of you that would laugh, like, oh, we don't do anything.
Yeah.
We have like $500 million.
Yeah, they should have like a comedy skit show.
Yeah, they could be. That's what I mean. They could be doing a Netflix show that was amazing. You know, the Kardashians just leaned in.
Yeah.
They're like, here we are. We're getting our butts injected today. But enough about Ray J. You know what I mean? But here we are. We're going to lunch. We're hanging out. You know, and it's like people just kind of like the voyeuristic quality of it.
Honesty goes a long way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think like well, listen, Troy makes a good point. A lot of this stuff you can't be honest about. That is a good point.
Yeah, they've gone way too far, man.
And that's why they can't. That's interesting.
What if AOC just goes, I was never born anywhere near New York. I'm an illegal from El Salvador. This whole thing has been a thing, and I want to represent all the illegals that are hardworking Americans. People would love her.
Can I just jump in?
Yeah.
Where she really was born in Yorktown Heights is closer to El Salvador than the Bronx.
Really?
But I'm not kidding. She's 40 miles from the Bronx in Yorktown Heights. So in a taxi, you're talking about a $150 cab ride.
Yeah.
You are not if you are $150 from a place, you're not from there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was part of the scam of, you know, AOC. But here's so I wanted to play this other thing. The semantic hardworking Americans.
Okay.
So Elizabeth Warren is on CBS.
Now she's good.
She's the best. Now, to the credit of the CBS interviewer, he does make sure his point is heard. But the whole clip you're going to hear, it's a minute long, is her telling him it's a lie. How dare you ask this question? Let me interrupt you right now. This is a lie. But to his credit, he makes the point about the clause and the provision and the way they're actually giving billions of dollars in health care to illegal immigrants is by hiding behind this provision. So this is it. This is just listen for a minute. It's clip 3.
Republicans say what you're really fighting for is taxpayer dollars for, as they put it, illegal aliens. I know that's not strictly true, but there is a provision.
Excuse me. not strictly true.
It's not
it
true
is a
directly, but
flat-out lie. It is a flat-out lie.
The way that they frame
There is nothing in Medicaid, there is nothing in Medicare that permits one undocumented immigrant to get $1 of assistance.
Senator, if you
None.
let me finish the
Zero.
question.
Of course,
Senator,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, in the Democratic counteroffer, the proposal for funding, there is a restoration of Medicaid benefits for certain non-citizens that it had been taken away in the big, beautiful bill, as the Republicans put it. Republicans don't think those people should be getting health care on the taxpayer dime. I'm not asking on the merits. Politically, putting that in there exposes you to this talking point, this lie, as you put it. Why put it in there? Why is it worth it?
No, what's happened is that what we're saying is that whenever hospitals give care, what is going to be the level of reimbursement? And the Republicans said it's going to be a low level. The Democrats said we just want to go back to the level it was before because you're going to bankrupt hospitals. You're going to put rural hospitals out of business.
No, you're not, because first and foremost, you're not going to bankrupt hospitals if you don't let people into the country and you don't have to give them free stuff.
That's correct.
Okay.
Hospitals are going to be fine.
But if you do, you're going to bankrupt everybody. Yeah. That's the point. And do you see how she said, no, it's a flat out lie? How dare you?
No.
And then he goes the extra mile and goes, this clause is in there. Why put it in there? And that's why it's in there. That is there. They never come out, to Troy's earlier point, and directly do the thing they say they're doing. Because, like you said, you kind of can't. If they get on TV and go, yeah, every illegal immigrant gets free health care and you pay, it's not popular.
Look, I'm a billionaire, and health care is an ongoing issue for me. And it still costs thousands of dollars a month, and I don't have that type of money. I'm trying to build spaceships. I'm trying to get my Starlinks all around the place, trying to take care of my baby mamas. We need free health care for documented immigrants from Canada that are comedians.
Hallelujah.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, you know the thing with the thing and the song. Jimmy, sing it.
There it is.
I fell.
And it's so funny because all they're doing, and it's like such semantic nonsense, you know? When he says, oh, the clause, what about the clause?
Yeah.
No. Because
Yeah,
she was like, wait, the clause?
Yeah, I love the no.
How dare you mention the clause?
No.
No.
People watching on YouTube, go back there and just watch these two start laughing naturally when she says that.
No.
Out of nowhere.
It's such good, but that's the other thing, is they're so used to getting favorable coverage from the media that traditionally you go to the media like, how dare you ask that? And they go, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Senator. I'm sorry.
Yep.
You know, but she goes, that is a flat out lie. It's a lie, but it's not a lie. That's the problem.
Now, as a Native American woman that's struggling to pay for her health care, Miss Warren.
Yeah.
They took my health care.